Arcturus.
Yep.
You are staring at a pile of scrolls, gilded and ornate, but their cores are cast iron, black. One of them is open before you, rolled wide. You shift your weight slightly and you feel pricks of pain shoot up your legs. And you stare down at the open scroll, the words of your god brought into this world. As you stare down, what do you think Arcturus is feeling?
He's he's just feeling. He's not really feeling much. He feels pain for everything. Just the pain in his leg, but also the pain of thinking of all the tragedies in that beset Lavasa, trying to figure out what he could potentially do.
One of the knights walks in behind you, and he looks down at you and says, with a bow, "My lord, it is time to go."
He rolls up the scroll as prim and proper as he can and reaches over to the side of his desk to grab his cane and pushes himself up and begins walking out.
Annie, it's a good day. You have reached a place of decision, I think. You've just had a great conversation with an old friend, and you kind of walk downstairs, and there's this energy of happening. No one knows exactly why, but all of them feel the decision that you've been making, and they're all just hitting their stride because of it. Unknowing that you've even made this decision, somehow they feel it from you. As you come downstairs and you look around, what do you think Annie does?
I think because Annie is very much a people person and very customer service oriented, she goes around the restaurant and she's grinning ear to ear as she's checking on tables and making sure that the food is to their liking. Do they need anything? She just did kind of bail on Jen and give her tables for that whole phone call, so checking on things and kind of getting back into the flow of things, as if she never left the room.
You kind of like hit your flow, and people are kind of smiling at you. The whole room just kind of, when you come into the room, there's again that energy just starts to permeate everyone about you. You see a cat lolling on one of the window ledges, and you turn as the bell rings to welcome in some new customers, and as you turn to welcome them in, there is just this silence that befalls the room as two knights in ceremonial Lavasan brass armor walk forward, double-bladed greatswords in front of them. They step in, place them down, step to either side, and you see this lady in a suit with pants and a skirt with a symbol of the dragon pinned to her chest. She walks forward, kind of glances around the room, looks at you, and says, "Angel Bradley?"
Annie just, I guess Annie just walks right up, offering a hand to shake, and she's like, "That's the name, Angel Bradley. How can I help you?"
Presenting His Holiness, Fair Dragon Arcturus. And she does this sweeping bow, and you see, like, a bunch of people in, like, cloaks, and you hear, like, the clinking of chains as some people are out there, and they step aside, and there's a carriage, and an old man who looks utterly done with everyone around him, just absolutely done with it all, looks up at you with the most long-suffering sigh you've ever seen from an old man wearing formal priest garb, the red and white with the brass tassels hanging down. Arcturus, what exactly is going through your mind as this fanfare is prepared for you?
I just want to say that, like, as soon as the person moves away, she, like, pulls her hand back and, like, kind of, like, leans back, like, oh.
It's a matter of... Here we go. All this. He will, like, turn and say, "Brother Sarah, if you would, please have you and the others remain by the carriage."
And you see this hulking figure in robes covering head to toe. You can't see an inch of his body, but as he shifts, you hear again that clanking of chains as the figure bows. And then, without, big men who have weight to them, you're used to this kind of like boom, boom. This figure has none of that. After the bow, just comes up and kind of drifts in the direction it's going, as if it's not even walking. Arcturus ascends the steps into your new establishment, and
he, like, puts his hand on the suit lady and is like, "Sister Alice, thank you. You too can go back to the carriage."
she looks at you and says, "Is that wise, my lord, to leave you alone?"
It's fine. What could possibly happen with Sir Raymond and Casa Fruits here?
She kind of, like, her eyes narrow slightly as she looks between the two of them and says, "Yes, my lord." And her and another lady in chaplaincy garb turn and walk back outside as the doors close. Katie, you see several seats are now vacated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about them. I have tried telling my friends that I do not need this whole entourage, but they insist on sending them up. You must be Angel? And he puts his hand out to take hers. Like, this.
Oh, okay. Then she nods and places her hand in yours, and she says, "The name's Angel Bradley. However, I prefer Annie, if you don't mind."
I'm sorry. I was unaware. I have business with you, but if you don't mind, I would love to grab a bite to eat.
She waves a hand into the room and she says, I have a private reservation room this way if you would follow me.
Understood. And he does, and the knights remain like 5 paces back behind as he walks.
And when they
And then
move,
Annie looks at Jen. I'm assuming that all of her employees are just kind of frozen and watching right now. And she
Yeah.
just kind of like looks at them like get back to work, but then like makes eye contact with Jen and does like some signals, like, bring water, like
Jen
points to the room.
signs back to you just without hesitation and turns to walk away. As you'll start walking in that direction, the knights, in lockstep with each other, their swords rise, cross their bodies, and they start walking exactly 5 paces behind Arcturus.
Like, he puts his hand, like he's walking, but he just like looks down. I'm sorry about this, but Annie, it's an unfortunate requirement.
I was about to say, I'm sure it's all in the books.
Too much in the books, if you ask me.
Then she pulls out a chair for you when you arrive at the table, and Jen, I think at that point, would come in with some water, so she just sits across from you and folds her hands on the table and says, "And how can I help you? Was it High Dragon?"
Not High Dragon. That is
His Holiness the Sylvanian.
I guess to you, the big boss of the church.
My apologies. What was it again?
Their dragon. But please, Arcturus is fine.
All right. Well, how can I help you, Arcturus?
The knights step to the sides of the doors of the private room, and then this black veil kind of materializes over the door.
Well, as he's sitting down, he like lifts his cane for one of the knights to take, and then they step back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Mrs. Annie, I have problems with the current state of Lavasa, and you come highly recommended by my good friend Deimos.
The like tops of her cheek turn a little bit pink when you say Deimos. And she nods and says, "This is beginning to sound like something we can agree on."
Well, I went to him with a request for aid in trying to convince the cabinet to raise the draft age to a more reasonable level. I hope you can agree that this is a matter that is most important.
The lowering of the draft age just happened, right?
Yeah, not even a couple of months ago. This is very new. Well, no, it would have been about 2 months ago. Yeah.
Okay, so this is definitely long enough for it to spread and her to know. It's not like yesterday. Okay. She now her whole face. Sorry, my alarm went off. Her whole face starts to steam a little bit, and you can definitely tell she doesn't hide her emotions. She definitely looks a little bit annoyed, and then she's like, "Yes, children don't need to be out there fighting with guns and swords."
I could not agree more. Truth be told, when Deimos told me to contact you, he did not inform me as to how you could assist me. He went out in a rush before he got to that part.
She looks down and then looks up, and then she's like, I'm not 100% certain either. Um, she she kind of scratches her chin and then she says, the last big thing I was working on in Steel was the Angel Project. Are you familiar?
Yes, that he did mention something about that. I was going to look into it myself, but I ran out of time. Would you please be kind enough to inform me?
Well, I was working with does Jeffrey have a last name? He was
Uh,
High Marshal
Phillips.
Jeffrey, huh?
What?
Phillips?
Phillips.
Philip. Okay. I was working
With
with
an
High Marshal
S.
Jeffrey Phillips. Huh?
Phillips. With an S.
Oh, okay. I said that the first time, and then the second time I didn't hear you say the S. I was working with High Marshal Jeffrey Phillips on the Angel
Lord High
Project,
Marshal.
which is
Whenever you immediately put it down, you're very quiet.
Lord High Marshal.
okay. I'm not repeating it again. I said Lord High Marshal.
When his question, Jerm, is his death public knowledge? Yeah. Okay. When you say his name, Arcturus like does or the yeah does may he rest in peace.
On the Angel Project, um, to assist the homeless with their needs, including food. She kind of gestures into her restaurant. It's kind of an extension of my project here. You see, I run this restaurant as a restaurant slash soup kitchen, and the extra money that I make on top of the restaurant actually goes to providing food to the homeless. And on Tuesdays, I actually have a buy a meal, give a meal thing where it's kind of like you pay a little bit extra for the meal on that particular day. It's optional, and then that leftover money actually buys a meal that gets taken to a homeless that day. So it's pretty neat. You can kind of see the people line up around the building at that point in time. Where was I? So the Angel Project is kind of an extension of that, where we help homeless people. And given that Lord High Marshal Jeffrey also had orphanages that he was helping, it kind of helped that as well. Um, but I left Steel a couple months ago, and I was actually just wanting to go back and see if there was anything more I could do. Um, I really have to give the credit to the progress we made to Jeffrey, though.
He was a great man. On that we can agree. I hope.
He nods vigorously.
Right. By the way, do you have a menu here?
Um, she.
He actually like as you're about to say, he like looks over and there's one just right next to him. Like, oh,
I
sorry.
was gonna say she slides a menu over.
He like
She just
grabs
kind of
one
like
from the seat
pushes
next to
it
him and just,
slightly.
what do you recommend? I, um, it was it was a decent journey here. I hope you have some good recommendations as the runner of this establishment.
Oh, for sure. So she flips open the menu and points to a club sandwich, and she's like, "So this is actually the sandwich that started it all. This I made this particular sandwich for uh a friend, and they really liked it and encouraged me to get into the business myself. So you could try that one, or my head chef Fabius makes this awesome. Is minestrone a soup? Yeah, so he makes this awesome minestrone soup. So you could do one or the other or both. There is a sandwich and soup deal.
I think I'll try that, please.
You see Julia kind
Um,
of signal from you from outside the little veil, and y'all communicate the order, and she takes off to go get it taken care of.
I do think we can help each other out. Well, I think you could help me at least. I'm trying to think of, in my head, I'm trying to think of any possible way for me to help you as well. If you said you were planning on returning to Seal?
Well, I've been thinking about it. Well, I've been thinking about it, and I finally came to the conclusion that I think there's more that I can do, but I haven't actually made plans with anybody. However, before I forget, because I tend to I have lots of thoughts all at once. Um, I was just thinking what we did last time to kind of get this angel project started was to have a party. So I don't know, maybe we could just do that again?
He gives a smile, and a party sounds lovely. I have a few friends that I could help organize and invite more guests to. Where would you like to? Do you have a location in mind? Do you have any particular requests for this party?
There is a chill
Well,
that runs down both of your spines. All of the lights begin to flicker, and Annie, you see several figures in the shadows behind you, like, shift and move. Both of your knights charge into the room, blades out, and turn around, and then all the lights in the building go out. And then they slowly flicker back on as both knights take up stances around you.
He raises his hand to kind of calm them slightly.
Arcturus, as you raise your hand almost out of instinct, you don't see anyone around you. Your eyes are staring out the window, where you see a fire burning in the distance. As you stare at that fire, it grows brighter and brighter and brighter until it consumes all that you see. And standing within the fire, you see children screaming, shivering, and then almost as if as one, they all turn eyes on you, and you feel something deep within your soul, a knife. And then, strangely, the heightened tingles start to go away as you feel a warmth begin to spread over you from behind you. You turn and look behind you, where you see Angel Bradley standing, and the vision fades. And slowly noise returns to what it was a moment ago. The gently pattering of the rain. And you hear the guitar music from the other room. And all of the figures that had been shifting have gone quiet again. What's your reaction to all of this, Annie?
Did she see all of that as well?
No. She just sees
Okay.
the knights walk in the room and then this bear dragon stare out into nothing. And then turn to look at her.
Wait, so I didn't see the shadowy figure. I just felt the chill.
You saw the shadowy figures. He did not.
Okay.
You.
Um. Is there any familiarity? Like, is this a chill that I felt before?
Not really. But you knew the figures.
I knew the figures. Okay. I feel like she looks over and she has like a little bit of a look of confusion, like, hey, why are you behaving like that?
He
Um,
like shakes his head like slightly and just sorry, lost in my own thoughts.
Sir Raymond
she
looks at you and says, we shall see ourselves out, sir. And they sound just as confused as y'all are, and they walk back past the veil.
Please.
She just makes a note that she'll talk to her friends later. Eric, no, stop.
Arcturus.
Wait.
What is going through your head?
He a lot.
Yeah?
It's a big jumble of the pain and warmth in that he's the remnants of the feeling as it fades. He just tries to hold on to both of them as tight as he can, but it fades away. And he just he's feeling a lot of emotions, but he does not show any, and just gives a nice satiated smile.
And as Annie is now standing in front of you, you've had that experience. What happens now?
I am very sorry, Miss Bradley. I am remembering other appointments that I have to get to. Please, I will send in Sister Alice. She has ways of contacting. You set a party, correct? If you would be so kind, please meet me in Seal and we can discuss more on this party. If you ever need anything, please contact Sister Alice.
Do you have contact information you could provide or something? I'm sure it's hard to reach you, something that I could show to let people know that I can talk to you?
He kind of like pats on his person and then reaches for one of the knights to hand him his cane, and that he gets his cane and he unscrews the top part, which is a very ornate golden dragon head, and he hands it to you and just show that to anyone. They will know it belongs to me, and you will have direct access.
The veil passes away. Both knights walk up. One of them takes the cane, and the other one offers his arm to the fair dragon as he stands.
He helps and stands up and limps out.
What'd you say?
Limps out.
Limps out. Annie also stands up, and she kind of waves to Jen from over somebody's shoulder, and she kind of to go. And then,
I am so sorry. He pats his pockets. Remembers he doesn't have pockets.
Alice hands some money to you, discreetly.
He takes that, looks at how much it is, knows it's too much, but still hands it over anyway. And it's just, please keep the rest. I
Like holds it like close, and she just kind of does like a thank you bow, and she's like,
no, no. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sir Raymond will.
thank you.
Sir Raymond here. He points. He like waves over at him. He will wait here for the food to be ready, and we'll take it to go. Please make as much conversation as you want with him. He's not much of a talker, but he can when you force him to.
So when he sits down, I start asking, hey, are you like, how's your family? Like, where you from? Like,
Alice
but anyway,
Alice walks over to talk to Jin as Arcturus leaves. You see Raymond
she
kind of.
says to Arcturus, though, before he leaves, basically like, thank you so much for coming to see me. I would have never imagined a visit from someone like as important as you.
I don't think of myself to be that important. I'm the lowest of the low in the eyes of the dragon. Please, just, I, I am but a humble servant.
She nods and says, please have a safe trip.
Thank you, and you have a safe trip whenever you feel up to visiting.
I could probably use prayers for that trip.
You will be in mine and my entire coven's prayers. And he walks out.
He heads out, Annie, and Raymond's standing there. You just, like you said,
As he's walking out, he like calls back, Raymond, please calm down. And he walks. That's an order if it's needed.
And then Alice follows him out, looks at you, looks at Annie, Alice makes direct eye contact with you. She is the most prim, proper, like, office lady, business type person you've ever seen. And then winks at you as she walks out the door.
Like, what kind of wink? Like just
give me an insight
like
check.
I think I've let me see what her insight bonus is. Okay, I have proficiency, and we're like, what, +3? So 2 + 5. Wait. 20 plus 5. 15.
It was a very playful wink along the lines of "have fun," kind of like you're messing with my coworker, and I approve this message.
Well, I mean, it felt a little bit like a challenge, like to get this guy to talk, but also she just loves to talk. So even if he doesn't say a thing, she can have a conversation to a wall. Like,
yeah, you just start talking Raymond's ear off, and again, he's got, the very ceremonial Lavasan armor, unlike Sabriel's armor, which doesn't have a helmet and just, like, the bloody crown. His does have a helmet with just, like, hints of the crown around it, but, like, it's a full visor and whatnot, more like a face.
Comfortable?
Huh?
Is that comfortable?
You just see his eyes kind of like go to look at you and look straight ahead when you ask that. Doesn't say anything the whole time that you're like talking. Just keeps his eyes just keep darting from end to end of the room. And then finally the food comes out and he just like takes the food
like
in one hand.
He's like a dog that was left without its owner to just wait in somewhere unfamiliar.
And
But
Raymond,
I just want to say, like, it wasn't stated earlier, but I want to say that I had also signed to Jen to provide some food for the other guys waiting outside. So, like, there's like basically
It's
just
so much food. It's like a bunch of to-go boxes, and he looks at his sword, looks at the food, and you hear the barest perceptible sigh. And then you see something really cool. He takes the sword, turns it sideways, and it floats there as he grabs 2 sheaths from either end of his armor and from his belt, sheathes the sword while it's still floating. And then, again, like the tiniest tilt of the head, like, I can't believe I'm about to do this, hangs several of the to-go bags from either end of the blade. Because there's no way, because there's like 20 people that follow him around.
and then like the bags have like her logo.
It's only
on the
like
side.
14.
Come back again! Exclamation point.
And you have, so again, the knightly orders are some of the most prestigious individuals in the country, and one of them has been assigned delivery boy. Tries, with as much dignity as he can muster, walks out the door. And you see one more interesting thing as he walks out the door. The rain doesn't hit his armor, and like splashes from around it before touching
Her jaw just drops like jealous.
And he
Yeah, like, does Arcturus have that? Like, what? I want that.
Like the rest of us have running mascara.
and he just flips up his mask, and there's mascara on his face. And and Sir Raymond.
Sir Yvain, what's going on?
Sir Raymond. Sir Yvain. Raymond Yvain? Yvain Raymond.
Yvain Raymond.
Sir
Yvain Raymond.
Anyways, he leaves. The door
Would
is
you have
closed.
preferred I left Tobias there?
Tobias would have
Cashew
handled this
fruits.
a lot better.
If anything, this is a job for the squires, but no, he wanted Yvain to do it.
You turn, Annie, and you see where Mike was is no longer in the windshield.
Sure.
The window
By the
seal.
way,
Where Phil was.
Yeah, Phil. Sorry, not Mike. Yeah.
Definitely not mine.
the carriage is gone.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. The carriage is gone, so Raymond is gonna have to make his way back to Seal with all this food.
With all of this food, yes. Annie, you turn around. Again, Phil is not where he was a minute ago. And many of the customers have disappeared. You look and you see business is like well under control. What do you?
Obviously, people are like whispering and like this chatter talking about. Even my employees are kind of like, bro.
But I think something is probably nagging at Annie. You feel the need to go upstairs and maybe talk to some people?
Yeah, she goes into the kitchen and, walking up to Fabius, she just says, I suppose you're gonna have to have this under control for the rest of the day.
Oh, that's alright, Thal. We've got it taken care of.
I want to say they do like the
Yes,
and then
yeah,
she goes
absolutely.
upstairs.
Totally, 100%. As he's saying it, he does that, like, as he's telling you they've got it.
And yeah, she'll go upstairs to her room, which I believe is like one of the highest floors or something. And then She just kind of takes a seat on. She takes a seat in her chair, which like faces her couch, and she kind of like does like an arms cross, and she's like, "So what was that all about?"
You see Mike just kind of like lazily, as if he was
Phil.
unfolding. Yeah, I don't know, because Mike in my head is there. You see Phil kind of like unfolding like a cat, but popping into existence via the unfolding. Kind of like lays across the back of the couch, and Phil kind of looks up at you and goes, "What was what, Annie?"
Were you concerned?
Give me a perception check.
$16.
Gotta roll for Phil. See, I got his name right.
Ooh.
Philippi. Phil doesn't seem to react at all when you say that, and then says, "I'm sure some of the guys were worried. It was very strange, all the lights going out. But me, no, I knew everything was well under control."
She nods and says, "So, what happened?"
"I'm sure it was nothing." He kind of like gets off the couch, walks down, at a direct line, like from the back of the couch to the floor. There's an exactly vertical line. And then like wraps himself around your legs, his body kind of elongating as he does so, and says, "It's nothing. Don't worry about it. You need to relax so that you can deal with these uppity people in Seal. You've got this."
She looks down at him and says, "So you weren't the one that I saw in that room?"
Give me one more perception check.
Perception?
Mm-hmm. Or insight, either one. I'll allow either one.
And I'll do insight. Another 15.
What's your modifier?
It's 2 wisdom and 3 proficiency.
So +5.
Yes.
You see Phil pauses and then says, "No, it was someone else. Again, don't worry
It's even
about it.
stranger.
Don't worry. Some of the guys get excited when something might be happening to you. You know how it is. I'll talk to them and tell them to chill out a little bit. You know, we can't have people jumping out of the shadows every time the lights go off."
She just shakes her head and she's like, "No, I'm more concerned about scaring off the customers."
"Oh, of course, absolutely. We wouldn't want..." And then Phil turns his head to look at something. "We wouldn't want that at all now, would we? Now, don't
She
you worry.
follows the direction.
There's nothing in that direction. It's kind of like northwesterly is kind of like the direction he's looking in. He had looked in."
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She reaches down and picks him up and puts him in her lap and starts petting him and says, "Are you opposed to my returning to Seal?"
No. Phil body kind of shifts. Not really like turning to look at you, but more so his body elongates and like puffs out, and as it shrinks back down to its correct state, he's looking up at you. Annie, my friend, I of course only want what is best for you. And if you think you should head back to Seal, then we are all right there with you. Jake, me, everyone else. And as he says, everyone else, there's once again that little pause.
Where is Jake today?
I think he has some work to do he has to attend to today. He kind of looks...
Came with his visit with his son?
Hmm?
So do you know what came of his visit with his son?
No. He went to visit his son. Give me another perception
Feel like
check.
what's... Okay.
Uh-oh, you let out someone's secret.
We don't have secrets. We're all best friends. 6.
He says, he hadn't mentioned it to me yet. He must still be doing that. I bet they're having a blast. I personally never had time for children. It's just so much work. And kind of like stretches out on your lap and like kind of begins to make biscuits in your lap. And rolls over, exposing his belly to you, and says, I'll let you know as soon as I find out, though. Would you like me to go check on him?
No, he'll come around whenever he's not busy.
Of course he will, Annie. Now, why don't you just get some rest so you can get ready for that trip of yours? You're going to be heading that way soon.
No, I haven't seen any preparations. I need to make some phone calls. I need to pack my bags. There's just no time for rest.
All you do is work, darling. And Phil kind of
Well,
like
that is the
rolls
life
over
of a
again.
business owner.
You work too hard, dear. And then,
I've been resting for months now.
fair enough. Perhaps it is time for some action. And he rolls over in the air, fully in the air this time, and says, well, I'll leave you to it. Don't stay too busy. And then once again folds in on himself, disappearing into the astral plane.
All right.
And I think we're going...
I was just gonna say, with that, she'll take a minute and thought before she starts packing.
Cool. And we're going to pass away from that scene, where we find ourselves back at the Capitol building. Libby. For one of the first times you can remember in a very long time, your father is holding you affectionately.
And it's kind of like is this really him? Looks like him. It smells like him. But is it really him?
Feeling like the kind of stiffness that you have, he kind of pulls back and grabs your shoulders and goes, Libby, you're safe. You're here. He turns to look at Liza and says, when were you planning on informing me that y'all had returned? And Liza kind of gives him the side eye and looks back forward and goes, I'm not a messenger, boy. You have your own people, and you found out eventually, didn't you? Don't worry yourself too much over it. And she kind of like saunters away over to the snack bar and like grabs something to eat.
Remind me where we are.
You are in the Capitol building, like at the cabinet table, in the consulate specifically.
Okay.
And a couple of people have shuffled in, like, talking to people. You see Alicia and a couple other members of the Blood Pact kind of, like, into the room and head your way. Ackerman turns to Selthor and goes, Lieutenant Commander, I think that we should throw my daughter a party. Don't you agree?
Elthor looks at him and he says, if it's on your dime.
Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll bring some of your friends from training. You trained with Selthor's men, did you not?
She nods, and then she looks at Selthor and says, there were a couple of troopers at the time that I was friends with. I don't know where they went.
Do you know Special Agent Shebnar?
Do I know Special Agent Shebnar?
You probably met him. He spent a lot of time with Selthor before he was deployed. He's been deployed recently.
Garrett, which one is he? I spent time with all of the Special Forces men that he trained with.
Selthor. Shebnar is the guy who trained with Sabriel.
Gotcha. Okay.
So she nods.
I'll summon them up. We'll host something at my house. He kind of looks around at different consulate figures and losing all sense of decorum, both of you, see the most perplexing sight you've ever seen. Commander Ackerman, war hero, stoic man of the people, jumps up on the cabinet table, spins and says, I would like to invite every member of the consulate and all the heads of government to my house tonight. My daughter is home, safe from enemy hands, and we are going to celebrate! And then jumps down and, like, takes a hand around you and, like, starts walking you towards the door.
There's a confusion in her eyes, but a smile on her face.
Selthor.
And she just...
Sorry, say what you were saying.
Is he shorter than me?
Is Ackerman shorter than you? Jeffrey was not shorter than you. I think Ackerman is... You're like, what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Let me...
Because I think Ackerman is only like 6'1". Hold up.
Yeah, then I'm taller than him. But
Oh, only 6'1". So short.
Alright, pins. Stop eating paper.
Did Libby get taller, though, after the transformation?
That's what I'm
Yes,
considering.
we already discussed this.
You did
So
get taller. Okay,
I
yeah.
wrote it in the pin.
She had a high school glow up.
Yeah, you're taller than Ackerman, yeah.
So I was 6'4", and now I'm 6'6".
Yeah.
I grew 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So she is, as they're walking, looking down at him with that slight smile on her face.
Selthor. As he starts walking that way, and Ackerman turns and gestures for you to follow, and then turns back to walk with his daughter. As you watch this sight, what do you think is going through Selthor's head?
Selthor recently putting in a fair amount of effort into learning about the entire platoon and monitoring the situation after they disappeared. He's happy that Libby's back. He's curious as to Ackerman's demeanor and actions, but one of the forefront thoughts on his mind are, if she's back, where's everybody else? What happened?
So do you follow Ackerman, or do you peel off to go find a military connection and like call the front line to see what happened up there?
I think he will definitely have that, like, as if Ackerman told him to follow, he might follow for a while, see what's going on. He is curious as to what Ackerman is planning and thinking, but he definitely makes a mental note that he will come back and figure out what happened.
Cool. Yeah, you follow them, and Ackerman just goes to his carriage, opens it up, gets inside, but like helps his daughter inside as she goes in, and looks at you and kind of like smiles, and then gets in the carriage and waits for you to get in, and then the carriage takes off and starts flying through the sky. As y'all are flying, the sounds of the carriage drifting through the rain begins to like drift over y'all, and he looks and says, "Libby, tell me what's happened. How did you get back so soon?"
She kind of looks at him and blinks, and then she says, "I don't know."
You don't know? What do you mean you don't know?
We were in the middle of a fight, and I fell and woke up in Seal with Liza and Havelock.
I shall have to have a conversation with them. He kind of glances at you to like make a note of that, Selthor. And then y'all kind of fly to his house, and as you touch down, Libby, you see kind of a little something on Ackerman's shoulder, kind of a hint of red, kind of like rippling and goes away.
I think she just is like looking at that spot, and her brow furrows a little bit, and then she kind of, here, let me turn my camera on. She like looks and kind of like,
Are you well?
I think so. And then she kind of like looks at herself and she's like, I think I've healed.
Good. He turns to Selthor and says, Come, let's go inside. He seems to have regained much of his decorum from that earlier outburst. He walks inside, kind of like going back to his...
As they step out of the carriage, Selthor looks at him and says, I will let y'all catch up.
You would not like to join us?
I'll be back. He's like, I'll meet y'all in a little while.
Very welcome, Lieutenant Commander. Go ahead inside, Libby.
She looks at Selthor, and there's a little bit of disappointment on her face, and she nods and says, I shall see you later.
He nods and he says, I will return.
He gestures for Libby to go inside, and as Libby walks away, Ackerman demeanor shifts. His shoulders go backwards. He picks himself up a little bit and turns to look at you and says, They're up to something. Did you see Alicia? Selthor, he's talking to you.
Okay.
Yeah, he let Libby go inside and turned to talk to you.
He says, "Of course I saw it."
And that Liza fellow. I don't trust Liza. I think
He
she's...
looks at him and he says, "You don't trust many new faces."
This is true, Lieutenant Commander. But I think this one is worse.
Says, he nods and he says, "I will have to agree with that one."
One more thing, Lieutenant Commander, before you go. Where did Havelock go? He came back with them, but didn't wait for any of us to arrive at the office, I'm told. He disappeared. Look into it.
That's on the top of what I was about to find out.
Very good. I will keep me informed, and I will keep her busy. And he turns. Once again, his shoulders kind of moving forward and him adopting a little bit more of that affable air as he walks inside and closes the door behind him. Selthor. You turn back to the carriage. And as you do, once again, you hear that girl's voice. Such a faded memory. This is the only choice we have. And you can't picture her face. You can't assign it a personhood. But just those words, and you know the person who spoke them was important to you. Step on the carriage. Where do you go?
Probably to my office.
You head to your office. The one in the Capitol building or the one at the military base?
I'm trying to think of which one I prefer or tend to spend more time in.
Maybe I'll make the decision for you. You start to head to the carriage and tell them where to go, and then you feel this pulse slap you, and you're like staggered backwards as you see all the lights flicker off, and then like bit by bit turn back on. And you see the carriage, you hear the carriage kind of flutter and like land, powering off completely.
There's someone driving the carriage, correct?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. He kind of knocks on the window to whoever's driving it.
Rolls down the window, looks up at you and says, Lieutenant Commander, what? I don't know what happened. It just, all the instruments just turned off.
Can you get them back on?
I can. I'm not much of a mechanic, sir. I'm a driver. Honestly, Garrett, Selthor probably knows as much about the carriages as anyone in the country would. I don't know if we gave you proficiency in engineering, but your character totally should have proficiency in engineering.
I think he does.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we called it that originally.
It was, well, it's technology, but there's three branches.
I think it was
of
technology.
Yeah.
He gets out and kind of does an inspection of the carriage.
Give me a technology check. I think it was just a general technology check. You don't have proficiency in any one of the three subsets. You just have general technology.
I'm about to say I thought I had I do have technology in it.
Did you have another one as well?
And that's
engineering.
No, I think it was just technology.
And do you have proficient or expertise in technology? I know you're proficient. I don't know if you have expertise or not.
I don't actually.
You don't know? Okay.
I have proficiencies in intelligence, animal handling, athletics, deception, intimidation, stealth, survival, and I think it was just technology.
Okay, cool.
I don't have any expertise marked or listed.
Give me that. Yeah.
And that's an intelligence.
That is intelligence.
It's an intelligence subset.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be 13.
13. So 13's not gonna quite cut it. You kind of look around. You are able to ascertain that something's wrong with the power transformer.
Okay. I was gonna say, so long as, I mean, he was just generally trying to figure out
Yeah.
what where
It-
the problem was lying.
It does appear to be coming from the power transformer. Like there's still fuel in it. All the electronics seem fine, but the power transformer itself, the thing that connects the battery of the carriage to the rest of it, is something's going wrong with it specifically.
I guess he would do, if possible, a field test to see if it was overloaded or not getting power.
Okay, yeah, give me. I like that. Give me one more technology check. This is a much lower DC. Actually, I don't even think I need a roll for this. Yeah, you. I think you can. That's a really good question. I think you can tell that it looks like the power was inverted. It wasn't overloaded or anything, but it looks like the converter was inverted somehow.
And is it staying inverted?
Kind of, but it's like every once in a while it goes and kind of flips back. But it's staying inverted mostly, but every once in a while it kind of like goes back to being normal and then flips back to being inverted.
Can I attempt to stabilize it?
Can you attempt to stabilize it? Yeah, give me a technology check. You whip out a couple of tools that you've got on you and kind of like go at it. Give me a technology check real quick. Do you say anything specific about how you're trying to stabilize it? Because that might help your roll here a little bit.
This
Use
is
the radio.
No. You said it's the power
Converter.
what?
It is the power converter.
Converter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's converting the power into a usable source for the engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm guessing primarily if it's swapping back and forth, then I'm sure there's a large degree of power that goes through these things.
Mm-hmm.
And some, I don't know. This is not something we've talked about much.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just give me your roll. Okay, here I'll give you a couple of things that you can look at specifically. Do you try to just like you're trying to stabilize it as inverted. You're not trying to get it back to normal, right?
I want to stabilize it in either way. If I can stabilize it inverted, then that's fine.
Do you just do you reset the whole matrix? Do you pull it out, flip it around, plug it back in, or do you take apart the matrix and do something in there, like something deeply mechanical?
I feel like what he's trying to do, he would disconnect it from the power source.
Yeah.
And then
when you disconnect it from the power source, the thing shuts off. Like it's shorted out. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to have some amount of whatever flowing through it on its own, but when you pull it out, whatever weird force was acting on the converter kind of like disconnects.
What happens if you reconnects it to the power source?
In the same way you had it?
Sure.
You put it back in the same way, and it's stabilized in the normal direction, and then it just flips every once in a while.
When it flips, he inverts the leads.
When you invert leads as it flips, the whole engine begins to rattle, and you hear that girl's voice again. And this time she says something, and you know it's important, but you don't know why it's important. They can never learn who I am or what you did. And you look at the power converter, and the power flowing through it, whatever happened, you're pretty sure that something didn't actually happen to the converter, but something happened to the power source itself. But it's manifesting in the converter.
Okay. But is it stable now?
More or less, yeah.
He connects it all back up and tells the driver to start it.
The driver starts it up and goes, yes, sir. Presses on the radio and says, we have a power outage on... and pulls the radio away from his head and just sets off static. And he turns to look at you and says, are all the radio... Sir, is your personal radio down?
He checks his.
You check your personal radio, which is one of the most advanced pieces of technology in the country, and similarly, static.
He takes it out and flips the battery around.
It starts working!
He gets on it and he says, this is Lieutenant Commander Selthor. Can anyone hear me?
There is dead static from everywhere else.
Of course. He said he pulls out. He holds his hand out for the driver's radio,
Driver hands it to you.
and he flips his battery, and he says it should work now. If it goes back, if it goes haywire again, try flipping that back.
Dabbing it. Bomb.
That's what we hear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a fun development.
And then you hear a response back. Kind of cut in and out. Something about going that way.
Take me to the military, my office at the military quarters.
The carriage lifts up and flies off in that direction.
He starts doing a broadcast on his radio every once in a while, probably every, we'll say, minute.
Okay. What do you
just
say?
kind of like, this is Lieutenant Commander Selthor. If anyone can hear me, I'm headed to my office at the military complex. If you can hear me, please respond with any information you have on current situations. Reverse the leads.
Yeah, there's a moment where there's nothing, and you go for a little bit, and you repeat it again, telling people to reverse leads. And as you say it the second time, you hear a signal click in. Someone has connected to your frequency.
There's a bomb in the industrial district. It's been taken care of. Went off, but taken care of.
And then it goes radio silent.
That's it.
I don't think he changes course.
Cool. You head to your office at the military base. You step out, walk in. People are running around everywhere, like trying to do things. Couple of different people going in every which direction, doing different things.
The first place he heads is the broadcast tower.
Cool. You head up there. You see people you see a couple of engineers, a couple of scientists hanging around. A few people are talking with each other. I know, but I'm telling you, there with an explosion happening at the industrial district, I'm sure that's why we're not getting power. Lieutenant Commander, a bunch of people stand up and salute to you.
Did I hear you say there's no power whatsoever?
Well, we're struggling to get power, sir. There is power, but it's inconsistent, sir. We believe one of the power plants were shut down.
He walks over to I'm guessing some whatever breaker
Yeah. You
panel, whatever.
There isn't a normal converter in here. It seems like the whole building probably has a converter of its own somewhere. But there's an emergency power system in here that does have a converter, built onto it.
He will swap the leads on that. And then if it's not engaged yet, he will completely break power from the main source.
You completely break power from the main source, the emergency power takes over, and the radios stop staticking.
Start broadcasting. Battery sources have inverted.
They all start sending out broadcasts. Then you hear another radio click and says, "Seal, do you read? This is the First Army on the front line. What's the sit rep?"
He picks up the phone and he says, "Seal has been down for a few minutes. What's wrong?"
Well, we were in the middle of debriefing with the Lord Militant and a few other figures from the military, and suddenly we lost all contact with Seal. Is everything all right? To whom am I speaking?
This is Lieutenant Commander Southor.
Lieutenant Commander. Lieutenant Commander, what has happened at Seal? It's the Lord Militant.
Who's that?
That's the Lord Militant.
Lord Militant.
His voice is unmistakable.
Yeah. He says, "Lord Militant, it seems a bomb has gone off in the industrial district, sending a wave throughout Seal, causing a lot of our technology to go haywire. I'm working on..."
Which part of the district? Was it hit the power plants?
He looks at the people around the room and he's like, "I have not heard it."
There's a couple of affirmative nods. And then a couple of people shrug and someone else shakes his head no.
He turns back and he says, "I'm still working on that. I'm getting some reports that are saying it has, some reports saying they don't know. Some
I understand.
unaffirmative."
Lieutenant Commander, where is the commander?
He is... I'm guessing he's talking about Ackerman.
Yeah. That's the only commander.
Throwing a party.
There is no other commander in the Lavasan military.
I didn't think so. He says he is currently at his establishment. I'm trying to get a hold of him.
I need you to go to the power plants, Prime, and investigate for me. Report back as soon as you can. Selthor, you feel an itching at your mind. Like something's trying to get into your head.
How? Like force its way in?
No,
knocking?
more like it's more knocking. More like knocking.
More like a knocking.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of closes his eyes and loosens his mind for a moment.
Lieutenant Commander Selthor,
Who am I speaking with?
I am Special Psionic, stationed at the central power plant. I am unable to get a hold of the commander. It is all well.
Last I saw of him, he was well.
Very good. We need either yourself or him to report to the power plant.
I'm on my way as we speak.
No bomb. The bomb did not detonate here, but only on one of the outlying plants. I am doing my darndest.
It did hit.
It did indeed.
So
hit
they
one
did
of
hit the
power
grid.
plants. The grid seems to be
Very well.
intact. It was one of the cooling plants, sir. But the central plant itself is unharmed.
Have you shut down any affected equipment?
Nothing has been shut down yet, sir. Please come in person so that we may debrief. This signal is not secure.
On my way.
The thing leaves your mind, and you hear the Lord Militant saying, "Lieutenant Commander, are you still there?"
I am here. I just received report that it did indeed hit our power grid, although it was just an outer lying cooling plant.
Ah, very well. Keep me posted. I have things that I must deal with. And then the line cuts.
He makes his way down to the, I guess, hangars
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is what they would be.
You see, one of the scientists run up to you and say, "Sir, most of the carriages have gone haywire, with the exception of the interceptors that you oversaw. They're ready to run, sir."
His eyes, intrigued, and he's like, "Very well, I need one."
Its wings.
These are still prototypes, right?
They are, yeah. The wings, you hear like this,
Save or die.
I hit the wrong button.
You hear this? Save or die.
You hear this save or die.
The noise suppression button is right next to the hang up button.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's still recording. You hear, just make sure y'all rejoin the stream. You hear as it walks over the hydraulics. It kind of the mouth of it, as it were, opens up and falls down, kind of this coffin-shaped slot for a pilot to slot into.
He starts to walk up into it, and he looks back at the engineer, and he says, "By the way, to get everything else up and operational, swap the leads on the converters."
The leads, sir? Wouldn't that fry the systems?
Not anymore.
Yes, sir. And they turn and they head off to go deal with them.
When he gets in and he sits down in the seat, the first thing he does is he pulls out his revolvers and checks his battery packs.
Swap the leads on the
Swap leads on your batteries, yeah. Absolutely.
He's like, I do not need this to blow up on me.
Yeah, the interceptor jaw closes and it powers up, the wings extend to full height, and you rocket out, going way faster than any carriage is capable of flying.
Although, to be clear, these have not been operational previous to this event.
Correct. Something was wrong.
He just smiles and he's like, "What stroke of luck we have."
Something was wrong. So the big issues were the hydraulics. Y'all could not find a way to make the hydraulics work without just overloading themselves. And the secondary issue you were running into was the thrusters. The thrusters weren't generating a high enough capacity that you were looking for.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you rocket across. Like, normal carriages are fast. Carriages aren't slow.
Right.
But they're limited to like 150, 300 miles per hour. This thing quickly approaches Mach 1 and will pass it if you let it go past Mach 1.
Right.
So, how hard do you push this thing?
Lavasa's never broke the sound barrier, has it?
They have not. Nope.
Not aside from the railguns.
Mm-hmm.
Records are meant to be broken.
I was about to say, he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's testing his new toy.
you push this thing down, and it... Boom, 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 you hear pop! Just this massive explosion, you keep accelerating, and then you hear another pop! And then your wings kind of start to rattle a little bit, and as they're rattling, the rattling gets less, and less, and less, and kind of stabilizes as you see this cone of white and water forming in front of your vehicle as you rocket through the air, and you realize that you're going to overshoot the power district.
Start slowing down.
So
Lavasa thinks it has like 4 extra explosions.
So, how do you slow down? Do you just cut thrust, which will, again, that will carry you past it?
Flip the trenches.
You're a vampire. You can handle G-forces.
I was about to say, I think he literally does like the... Especially in the planes as he's designed them to be, he basically drops it to be an open wing.
Yeah, the wings flip sideways and you just slam forward as the G-forces hit you. You go to a red out, you black out, and then you come back to as you just like slowly come to a stop directly above the primary power plant. And it starts to lower itself. Its thrusters now pointed downward. And then the wings switch to hover mode, turning off the thrusters, and then lands. The mouth opens and lets you out. You see a marshal?
He doesn't have like a huge smile, but there's definitely a smirk of satisfaction.
I have to go double check my ranks real quick. That's not where they are. I have to go remember what the... Here we go. It is a major. You see a major from the military police walking up and stops and goes, "Lieutenant Commander, have you heard from the commander?"
I've not heard from the commander yet.
You will want to know that the acting Lord High Marshal was here. Acting very strange, sir.
He kind of like gives this look of intrigue, and he's like, and he's no longer here?
He left to go investigate other sites. We assured him that this site was not in danger, and we were correct. The bomb was not here. Our security was not breached, sir.
Very well.
Do you want to go do this? Do you want me to take you to the places they went, sir?
What was the girl's name that contacted me?
The girl that contacted you? Oh, I don't think she gave her name. She's just the special psionic. But her name is... Hold up. I have it written down here.
Would he know it?
She doesn't have a name. It's here. She's got a barcode. S-1R-I.
He says, he repeats that and says, does that mean anything to you?
Yes, that's the special psionic, sir.
Take me to her.
He takes you inside. You head inside, and then you see this girl with like a bunch of ports in her head, and some wires plugged into them. And she's kind of like floating there. And there's this, I don't know, forget about it. There was a strange feeling you got when you saw her. She turns to look at you and says, "Commander."
And he says, "Have we met before?"
"I don't believe so, sir. I reached out to you earlier. That was my voice you heard. When I'm an emergency protocol when radio communication fails. The psionic projects, I'm not sure if how involved you were with those."
He kind of like walking around her to get a look at everything. He kind of like squints and he says, "I prefer more manufactured science, not artificial."
"Oh, I'm far from natural, sir."
Agreed.
The Major nods his head and says, "Yes, she was one of the creatures we had grown to interface with our systems. They did stop and talk with her for a minute, but they didn't stay here a tremendous amount of time."
He looks back at her and he says, "You called me here for a debrief."
The Major would be the one
Speak.
for that. I'm merely a communications officer, sir. The Major says, "Well, I will bring you right this way, sir." He walks onward.
He says, he like holds up his hand. He's like, "Wait." He's like, "What did the Lord High Marshal ask of you?"
The Lord High Marshal didn't speak to me. It was one of the seniors, sir. The Signorate of Technology, I believe.
His eye, he gets once again the intrigued expression, and he's all like, "Oh, and what did he have to ask?"
He
After
asked.
disappearing for a
He
while.
asked if he had known me, sir, kind of like you did. Well, I don't know if he actually said it, but I kind of felt it in my mind. No, I think he did say it out loud. He asked if he had known me. And then he stood there for a moment, seeming very perplexed, and the two individuals who were here with him, the lady in the consulate uniform and the High Marshal, left without awaiting him, and then he left to go join them.
Which consulate member?
There are too many for me to keep track of, sir, but...
He squints and he's like, "I find that hard to believe."
My... Lieutenant Commander, sir, you overestimate my mental abilities. While they are impressive, I do not have a photographic memory. But I think
you have a way of getting inside our heads.
Give me an insight check! And take an inspiration point.
What did he say?
You have a way of getting inside our heads.
Insight is which?
That's wisdom.
It's hilarious just watching Germ trying to remember what happened last session.
I'm doing it in character.
I know, but I can't remember who said what. And I've listened to it like 2 extra times.
I don't have...
I mean, you can spend your inspiration die if you want to.
I think he will.
Okay.
So I have a question based on the last couple times that inspiration has come up. I
18.
remember you saying that you rolled the d20. It's just advantage, right?
No, it's an additional die you get to roll.
So you add the d20 roll to what you rolled previously?
You roll the d20 and you can choose to take the inspiration one. That's how I use it. So it's in addition to advantage.
Okay, so you could theoretically have both advantage and the inspiration,
Yes. So
and
like
have
if
3 rolls to choose from.
Yes.
Pretty much.
yes. So you rolled
Except
18.
inspiration requires you to take the higher roll, so you could take the highest roll of the two from inspiration or from advantage or the inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she is
18.
way underplaying her abilities. I believe she was the one, sir, who passed the most recent drafting bill.
Veterinary. Not veterinary.
Diedrich's.
What was her?
Diedrich's little
Diedrich's.
pet.
I was gonna say protege. Does that
Yeah,
fit?
protege would fit. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Ackerman would have said.
protege.
Ackerman would have said pet. You saying protege is very in theme. Yes. That is probably the one, sir. The major kind of looks at you and says, "Sir, this way."
He nods and he's like, "I will see you later." It gives a look asking for a name.
She goes, "You may call me S1, sir."
He nods and he's like, "Well, S1,
Or Siri.
it was a pleasure to meet you." And he turns and follows the marshal.
Major, not marshal, sorry.
Major.
Yeah, the major leads you, shows you everywhere that they went, and then lastly he takes you to, like, the restricted area where, like, if you go further you would get radiation poisoning and whatnot. And he goes, and then they stopped here. And they insisted on trying to go further, but fortunately I was able to get them in contact with Marshal Leibniz, and he was able to talk them down, sir. So they didn't go any further. Although I will say the Lord High Marshal seemed very keen on trying to get further into this system by any means necessary.
He looks at him and he says, "What happens beyond this point?"
The power conversion, sir, where the power is generated. The hemagic agent is created back there, sir.
Is the power plant still online? You're
Hemagic
still
agent.
receiving,
Yes, the hemagic agent hasn't slowed down in flow, sir.
and you're having no conversion problems.
Converter issues we've had plenty of, sir. The Senior of Technology helped us figure that one out and get it all straightened out.
And what was his conclusion?
That the power had been inverted, and he switched a couple of converters around, sir. We had plenty, but the HA hasn't slowed down at all.
He looks at him and he's like, "And what are your power levels at now?"
Standard levels, sir. Should we slow them down?
Only standard?
Yes, sir. Well, we have. Yeah, yes, sir. Power levels are standard. There was a moment where we had a little blip on the readings, but yes, the readings are standard. Should we be concerned about something, sir?
He shakes his head and he just says, "Only some observations I've made."
Yes, sir.
Is the plant running on any limitations?
The central power plant has no affections on it, sir. One of the outer cooling plants, to my understanding, has gone down, but outside of that, no, the central plant is doing perfectly fine, sir.
He nods, and he says, "And beyond this point, you said there's radiation from the
Yes, sir.
radiation from the. You said homogenization."
The hemagic agent, sir.
The magic agent.
The HA.
And he's like, yeah. And he says, "And how I guess he would know. How lethal is that to vampires?
Well, sir, it will kill you. It will also kill me. The Major is a vampire himself.
I was gonna say no. I said Selthor would know.
Oh yeah, it'll absolutely kill you.
It is lethal to vampires faster than their regeneration.
Mm-hmm. No one's allowed past this point while the plant is running.
Okay.
Do you want us to
turns
shut
to
the
the
plant?
Major.
Do you want us to shut the plant down, sir? The Mr. Gimsbach asked for the same thing, but we told him that was unfeasible.
He gets this puzzled look and he says, I would not think of cutting power to the city. No.
I concur, sir, but
that is a ridiculous
that was
idea.
exactly my point. Thank you, sir. He looks
like, I would like to see the data panel.
Yes, sir. Come this way. They take you upstairs to the control room, and you can overlook the. As you look down into the reactor room, there's this sickly green red light. This like large central pillar with like smaller cylindrical pillars going outward, each light glowing that sickly green, and it's just the red miasma kind of surrounding it. The glass that you're standing behind is like 3 layers thick. There's an outer layer of like some kind of like plastic plexiglass material. There's an inner like liquid crystal layer. There's a second thinner plastic layer, then there's a second liquid crystal layer, and then there's a third kind of like see-through metal material that's been put on the far side. That sickly glow kind of like radiates upward, and as you come into the room, even though you know you're so protected, you still feel queasy as you step into the control room. You look at the data pad, sure enough, everything was perfectly normal, and then there's this blip. Like, normally, you know, the readout panel showing levels, it fluctuates a little bit, but never very much. And even if it does go up, it's like this ramp up, ramp down. But there was this immediate click to the top, fall back down on the readout panel. Like, instantaneously, it's like the pin went up and down within the blink of an eye. And so the spike doesn't even look like two pin paths. It looked like the pin went over the same point twice before the paper had a chance to move. And it hit the very top of the paper. But then it goes immediately back to normal.
To repeat for clarification, there's no limiters on this plant, correct?
I mean, there are power limiters that are in place to like prevent like rapid overload of like all systems and whatnot. But the system itself, no, they're not at capacity for the plant. They could continue to ramp up the plant for years and years and years and continue producing more and more energy out of it.
Okay. And does it have the equivalent of like a stabilizer as it's leaving the plant, or a surge protector?
Yes, there is a surge protector going around. That kind of like leads power outward. Which is the converters. They're again those big giant converters. But they're like way bigger than all the ones in the smaller materials that are like battery powered. But they were seemingly less effective than a lot of the smaller ones were. Like he mentioned, there were some fluctuations in it, but a lot less than all the like mobile battery powered ones were. Yeah.
He looks to the Major and he says, the power spikes. I want to report whenever they happen.
That's the only time we've ever seen one, but Yes, sir. I will report it. No one noticed anything,
He's
sir.
like, he points to the panel. And he says, "One just happened."
Well, yes. No, Garrett. That was earlier.
Oh, so he's looking at the chart from earlier.
Yes. When like
Okay,
everything
then he
went
says-
haywire.
He's like drawing his finger across the line. He's like, "If this happens again, I want to report."
Of course, sir. If I may, sir, no one noticed anything happen. We just suddenly saw the spike, and then we got reports from all over the city. Well, we didn't get immediately reports, but radio communication died. But yeah,
Did the senior fix your radios?
he did. Yes, he fixed all of our communication
did.
devices. Yes.
Very well.
But I just
All right.
I just mean the major shuts up. Like he looks like he wants to say something, but he shuts up.
Speak.
I just find it very strange, sir, that the spike would happen, and then all of this starts happening. The spike didn't last long enough, sir, to anything major to have happened. That spike happened in less than a fraction of a second, sir.
He looks at him and he says, "Make no mistake, it is no coincidence."
I don't disagree, sir, but correlation is not the same thing as causation, sir. And I've worked at this power plant for almost my entire vampiric existence, for the 50 years that I've been alive. But, sir, even if the HA spiked to an unbelievable production rate, none of it should make it past the converters.
He looks at him and he says, "Fear not. What happened is yet to be determined, but we will find out what happened." He says, he looks at him and he says, "You see a lot in 50 years, but 50 years isn't a lot. Things happen in much longer times than that. Strange things, weird things. Vampires haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this technology."
Yes, sir. And he salutes, and I guess you head to report to Ackerman?
And he looks at him and he says, "And where did the Lord High Marshal run off to?"
The explosion, sir. He went to the coolant plant.
He went to the site. The major's part of the military, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he's your direct subordinate.
I'm about to say, I want to report on whatever the Lord High Marshal and Senior of Technology find, or whatever you hear from them.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I will write up a full report for you. And he takes off.
Nods and he says, "Now, I must go see the commander."
Nods, and you turn and look back one last time at that sickly green-red glow coming out of the power plant. And turn and head out of the room, and that queasiness goes away.
He kind of like adjusts himself, resets his shoulders, and he once again small smirk appears as he knows he gets to test his toy again.
Yeah. Libby.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Your father has been nothing but the picture of politeness and friendliness since you've gotten back. He had the butlers bring in some tea, and then he dismissed all the servants, and kind of like leans back and has like been asking you about your war stories. So tell me, How did you escape? Was it a daring attack? I heard they betrayed you while y'all were there.
Yes, we had been invited to dinner with the RF, right?
Arep.
RF. After the second event of the games. And while we were in there, our food had been poisoned, correct?
Yes.
Our food had been poisoned, and then when the fight broke out, there was a strange monster that looked like ogre-esque, but large and caterpillary.
Caterpillary. You don't say.
And there were two guys, right? There was the RF and his...
The Hierophant, yeah. The Arep and the Hierophant
Okay.
there, yes.
Okay. There was the RF and the Hierophant. RF and the Hierophant. And when we were fighting them, turned out Havelock had been fighting the princess standing outside, and after they were all defeated, we ran straight back to camp, gathered our things, and ran.
A look of recognition passes over Ackerman's face and gestures at some of the items you have. You took those from the head of state of an enemy nation?
She smiles a little bit and says, "We did." She gestures to the armor piece that she's wearing and says, "This is what was the princess's name?" One second. I actually have it on. I have it on one of these pieces of paper on my desk.
I have it somewhere in these notes. I'm looking. Hold up. The question is, which file is it in? Okay. Okay, those are the... Nope, that's the political papers.
I throw those papers away.
Okay. Nope. Also no. Okay, yeah. No, there's nothing, I don't have it written down.
I did have it written, but I think it's not worth the time trying to dig through all these pieces of paper. So she'll just say, that this was taken off such and such a princess by Havelock? Or by Sam, and then
It would have been by
given
Sam and
to
Ronan.
me. Right, taken off the princess by what was Samantha's
Trooper.
title before the demotion?
Trooper. Second class. Wait, petty
Okay.
trooper?
Yeah, I think they just went
Trooper.
down to first class troopers and they were above that.
Okay, so she'll say mercenary trooper Samantha Lockhart and Chaplain Ronan. And then the rings, I believe, were also from the princess. And then this staff that she had laid down that she had been carrying, she says was the Scorpion leader Oberon's staff.
He extends his hand to
He
hold it.
was actually the one that protected me.
It appears I owe him my thanks. He holds his hand out for the staff.
She passes it over and she says, the astounding part of this weapon is when you reverse it, it actually reverses damage taken.
Fascinating. Incredible. And your height? Did you hit a growth spurt while you were gone?
I believe it was part of. She just kind of gestures to herself.
And what
Um,
is? He gestures to you again. He kind of like mimics your gesture, but with him.
Well, they had put me in the arena against Princess such and such a name. And they had pitted us against each other. And when I fell, I believe the combined efforts of my team, but primarily Liza, resurrected me. And when I awoke, then she gestures to herself again.
I see. He hands back the staff and says, "What a fascinating turn of events. Incredible. Did you lose my mask in the retreat?"
In a way, yes. It was broken and left in
Broken?
the oasis. But
What on earth broke it? That mask was forged from adamantine-infused ceramics.
well, you had told me I didn't need it anymore. And my friends helped me break it.
He kind of nods his head at that.
Not that I didn't care for it, I did, but
Of course you did, sweetheart.
guess I felt that.
He stands up and
What'd you
walks
say?
over. Of course you did, sweetheart. He places his hand like on your cheek and goes, "You don't need it. You are beautiful in your own right. And the world will see how beautiful you have become. Are you ready to celebrate tonight?"
She, looking at him, smiles and nods, but there's a little bit of disappointment in her eyes.
Are you well, child?
I am worried about my comrades.
They made it out,
They
did
should
they
be
not?
here celebrating too. Did they?
I have not heard.
Like I said, I fell and awoke here. I have no
See.
idea if they're alive.
Well, I have dispatched someone to the front lines to confirm information for me. Would you like to, when I hear back from him, I will call you to the room with me and we can discuss it together. Would you enjoy that?
She nods.
He smiles at you. Very good. Come. Let us... He goes upstairs to your bedroom and pushes open the door. And basically nothing of your childhood remains. The bed is new, the carpet is new, the walls are new. And there is a gorgeous dress sitting on a mannequin. Black with lace and like red linings. This very old-fashioned style with, you know, the deep neck plunge and the corset, but also like all the flourishes and whatnot that comes with that. And the colors just seem to like match your skin tone almost perfectly, as if somehow he knew this change was going to occur in you and had this dress made. How else could he have had this dress made by the time you got here? He said, "I've been wanting to give you this for some time. I hope it is to your liking."
She walks up to the dress and kind of touches the material gently, feeling the texture, and she looks at him and She smiles and says, I couldn't have asked for a better gift from my father.
He smiles at you. A gentle, fatherly smile. Of course. And then there's a knock at the front door, and he says, that will be our guests. And he turns and starts to walk out of the room. As he turns to walk out of the room, you see his kind of like shoulders. He does this exact thing as he walks out of the room. Heads downstairs. And you turn to look at the room surrounding you. The sound of rain fading into the background. And you look at this dress. And what's going through your mind as you look at this gift your father has bought for you?
It's looking at this dress, and it is absolutely stunning and far more extravagant than even the extravagant dresses she wore in her childhood. Even if things weren't great in her childhood, he never made her look poor or filthy. She had to be clean and prim and proper. She had to be perfect. But this is still even more than what she would have ever imagined herself wearing. And it is very strange that her father is behaving this way. It's nice, but it's kind of like, what happened while I was gone?
I bet you
What-
look gorgeous in that dress.
She turns to look in
You
the room.
see a person. Them? You cannot ascertain this individual's gender. Like, a very gorgeous, handsome, pretty face. Very kind of like androgynous figure. Like, there's kind of a suggestion of breasts, but not really anything there. Just lithe figure. Looking at the dress and goes, oh, I wish I had a dress like that.
She kind of like looks to the door in the window, trying to figure out where this person
They're-
came from.
They're both shut. She kind of looks at you and says, are you well? You look a little sickly. She waves her hand at you,
Naturally
and
green.
you see a flash of light as she does so, and all of the mental fatigue you've been building up over there disappears.
She just kind of blinks and stands upright. Like, not like standing upright as in straight as a board, but just kind of like she had been tired and didn't realize it, and now she has the energy to hold herself up.
He kind of
And
walks
she
forward
says,
and like
"Who are
looks.
you?"
Me? She turns and extends her hand toward you. Ah, no! I don't remember his name!
It's not Peter.
Give me a second.
It's a he. You just said it.
Oh, no.
Petra.
Petra. The name's Petra.
Is it? Is it for real? She shakes her hand and she says, "No,
I don't
Where
think
did you come
Petra's
from?
actually the name, but I can't find what the actual name is. But so we'll go with Petra
is that
for
in a
now.
recording?"
It's somewhere in the recordings, yes, and Jackson has it in his notes, I'm sure. The name means lost. It's very pretty, isn't it?
She thinks about it for a second and then nods and says, I suppose it's a very pretty name. And then she kind of looks back at the dress and says, did you have something to do with the dress?
No, I thought it was pretty.
And why are you here? Are you a maid?
A maid? Kind of like touches her face cutely, like tilts it to the side. No, I don't think I am a maid. I could clean though. Do you need me to clean?
She looks around the room and says, no, the room looks rather clean to me.
Oh. Well, again, this kind of like look passes over her face and walks up to you and goes, you're something very strange. You know that, right?
She said, you're something strange or they're something strange?
You are something strange.
She kind of looks taken aback.
I can taste you.
She scrunches her brow and kind of takes a step back and says, what do you mean by that?
The figure saunters toward you. I mean that when
He keeps stepping back.
Open my mouth and inhale, there's something different. Looks over her shoulder, and then he turns and looks the other way. And they look back at you and go, you feel it, don't you? I don't think anyone else does. I don't think they can tell. But you...
What are you talking about?
You've been gone. Is that why? Katie, for the first time, Libby realizes what this strange sense of unease is that's been weighing over her, that she's been unable to put her finger on. For the whole time that Libby has been here and out on the front line, Libby has been training herself as a soldier, learning to detect threats, to spot danger where it came for her. And your hunter's instincts have been honed to a fine point. Libby Ackerman, you are being watched. And the figure in front of you vanishes. And that's where we're going to end today's session.